We continue to bring you the latest news in Namibia, Africa, and the world, highlighting current affairs, economic news, sports, and international headlines in this afternoon broadcast.
In the news today, Kharas regional governor engages Karasburg community on challenges faced. Former Swapo Party Nkurenkuru constituency councillor appears in court for shooting his employee. Kenya's newly elected President William Ruto takes the oath of the office today. Ukrainian forces have seized even more territory from Russia as they continue their counter-offensive. I am Aina Kweo.
And I am Ashwin Berry. This is NMH at 1. In today's midday news update, former Swapo Party Nkurenkuru constituency councillor Damian Nakambare appeared in the Kahenge periodic court this morning after he was arrested for shooting his employee with a 9mm pistol in the abdomen on Sunday. The shooting took place after the victim allegedly refused to hand over keys for a car that belongs to Nakambare. It has been confirmed that the shooting happened in the presence of 4 police officers. Nakambare has been denied bail and the matter has been postponed to 8 November for further police investigations.
Remember to engage with these stories on social media as we share some community news from across the country on the other side of this short break in our visual news segment. Stay with us. Here are our visual news. Yesterday, the governor of the Kharas region, Aleta Fredericks, kick-started her constituency engagement in Karasburg. This serves as a platform for members of that community to express any challenges that they face within the town. Monique Adams contributed to this video.
COVID-19 disturbed family life. It also disturbed the businesses, our planned activities, and even our personal lives. We had to change our lifestyles and our ways of interaction, and even reschedule our development agendas to fit the situation. Nevertheless, it is my honor and privilege to share this platform with people from diverse backgrounds, including political and traditional leadership, line ministries and agencies that form part of my delegation, civil society, representing and entrusted to exercise delegated powers on behalf of the central government and the regional and local government levels to serve and to bring services closer to the people. Therefore, I trust that each one of us in this space is being moved by the spirit of serving and improving service delivery. That is motivated by our ultimate and fundamental purpose of the offices that we hold. And that is to serve the people and to ease service provision by not only influencing policy and regulatory structures, but also to influence the allocation of resources. And this is meant for you that is a strategic position wherever you find yourself. Either a governor or a regional councillor, local authority councillor, in the line ministries, deputy directors, name it, and the agencies, you are there to influence not only the policies, but also the allocation of resources, so that everyone should have equal access to resources. So this meeting is not only about information sharing. As much as we share information, people should also have access to the services. And we know that the local authorities are mandated to do what? Provide water, provide sanitation, provide name it. So people should know their right. And whose responsibility is that? It's the responsibility of elected people should have access to those services. It's for the governor, the regional council, and for the local authority councils, and all the line ministries that is in the region, and the agencies that is providing services.
Cliff Shikwami talks about the upcoming Erongo Business and Tourism Expo. He spoke to a correspondent from our Erongo office. Have a look.
So the Expo is making its comeback this year after the COVID-19 pandemic. What can we expect this year at the Expo?
Well, you're right to say that the Expo is coming back. It is true that for 2 years, because of the pandemic, the exposition has really gone silent. It's in existence now for the past 16 years, making it the country's third largest trade and exposition platform. This year will mark its 14th edition of the Erongo Business and Tourism Expo. Of course, the absence have also given birth to a renewed partnership between the exposition leadership in partnership with the Office of the Governor and LSK Consulting, CC, to really host this year's event. So our sister exposition, the Ongwediva Trade Fair, has really set the tone and set the bar extremely high for other expositions in the country, and we're following suit in the region, and to say, watch this space for yet an exciting and insightful trade platform.
Okay, so when and where will it be taking place?
So we are right here at the Walvis Bay Civic Center, which is the Walvis Bay municipality in town. The exposition will be held right here, and we'll be exhibiting from here from the 26th to the 29th of October 2022.
Okay, and then how many stalls and what kind of stalls can we expect at the Expo?
Well, a lot of stalls right now. There's quite a lot of uptake from interested in organizations, from corporates to SMEs. I cannot give you the exact number right now, but the numbers are fast telling in. At this stage, we're looking at a little over 1,000 participants that have expressed interest from both corporate and SMEs to participate at the event. But our aim is really to hit the almost 2,000 mark for this year, to make it really one of those ideal wanting to be at trade platforms.
Okay, so how many, excuse me. Okay, is there still time for people to join the exhibit at the Expo?
100%. There's plenty time. If interested exhibitors would like to really know more, you can either visit the Erongo Business and Tourism Expo Facebook page. All information is there, including the contact details and email address for queries and so forth. Desiree is your lady. She will attend to you almost just instantly.
Okay, and then we've been talking about the Expo, all the stalls and all that stuff, but then now we come to the entertainment part. So who will we see at the Expo, like on stage?
Well, it's a bit early days to tell. I know an exposition of this nature also warrants, very popular and familiar faces from the entertainment scenes. So we are still engaging local artists to come through for this year. So all I can say for now is watch this space, and we'll announce in due course.
Charles Anderson School in Ongwediva turned 22 this year. Namibia Media Holdings youth brand MyZone caught up with the heads of the learners leadership body at the school, who shared their experience and perspective in their leadership roles and why they take pride in their school. Let's have a look.
Why parents should bring their learners to school is because Charles Anderson is a friendly environment, and Charles Anderson has produced leaders such as the supranational, Miss Supranational, Chuleta, and the current junior mayor of Ongwediva.
Good morning, this is Ndayala Mulangeni, the Vice President of Charles Anderson School. What I love most about being the Vice President is that I actually get to do the work of being an LRC and not more of a teacher's representative. I feel like most LRCs don't understand the importance of being an LRC. They're more on they do more of what their teachers tell them instead of representing their learners. So I feel like this is something that we need to strengthen and that all LRCs around schools in Namibia need to understand. And I also love being the vice president because there's so many things that I would love for the school, and being in this position of leadership provides me with a platform to actually see these things through. And it is actually said that my days here are numbered and I won't get to see most of the plans that I had for this school through. But I do hope that the incoming leadership will continue with the great work that we have already done with my council.
The Namibian Sun looks deeper into the upbringing of Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, as well as the rise of her political career, while the Namibian newspaper reports that the husband of Prime Minister Sarah Koongela Amadila's government work if she became president. Stay with us as we get into the newspaper review segment.
Active Kids is an initiative under the MyZone brand that aims to provide exciting and easy activities and fun stories. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact zone@synergy.com.na. Active Kids, where we actively invest in your future.
Heading into this afternoon's newspaper review, in its lead story, the Namibian Sun highlights the events that led to Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah's political career, upbringing, and eventually putting her in the frame to become Namibia's next president. The paper also highlights unauthorized spending which occurred amid the pandemic, hundreds of millions of Namibian dollars which government had to pump into especially the country's health and education systems to mitigate the unforeseen impact of COVID-19, resulted in unauthorized overspending of about 1.1 billion Namibian dollars in the 2020-21 budget year. Moving on, a former Swapo regional councillor in the Kavango West region is expected to appear at the Kahenge Periodic Court this morning after he was arrested for shooting a man in the abdomen during an argument. He shot the victim, who was allegedly employed by him, in the presence of 4 police officers, eyewitnesses claimed. In another story, the Popular Democratic Movement's Management Committee will convene tonight to decide the fate of under-fire councillor Rodman Kashaimo. The incumbent councillor of the Katutura Central constituency has over the past few weeks failed to get rid of the alleged embezzling albatross hanging around his neck following a failed project.
In our next story, hundreds of millions of Namibian dollars which government had to pump into, especially the country's health and education system to mitigate the unforeseen impact of COVID-19, resulted in unauthorized overspending of about 1.1 billion Namibian dollars in the 2020-2021 budget year. While investments by cattle producers in Savannah Beef, Namibia on Friday closed at an impressive 169 million Namibian dollars, of approximately 85% in shares. The first meat under this brand could be marketed already early next year.
Now moving over to the Allgemeine Zeitung, lack of money is not only plaguing the private sector in Namibia. Yesterday, the Namibian Statistics Agency offered a seminar in which it wants to raise awareness among the population about the value of data and its analysis. On its page 3, the Okavango Delta is a complex ecosystem maintained by biological life ecosystem engineers, including hippos and elephants. Because of their size and diversity, hippos deepen the large river channels and lagoons. Stay with us as we continue with our newspaper review after the break.
Sport Wrap is a daily show focusing on all sport news and current affairs. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact sportwrap@synergy.com.na.
Let's continue with our newspaper review. The Namibia newspaper, in its lead story, reports that businessman Onesmus Tobias Amadila says he won't interfere with government work of his wife Sarah Kugongerwa Amadira if she becomes Namibia's president. Kugongerwa Amadira, who is Namibia's current prime minister, is among 4 candidates nominated for the Swapo vice president position and could be named as party's 2024 presidential candidate if she wins the horse race that includes Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Defense Minister Franz Kapofi, and Environment Minister Poamba Shifeta. The paper's page 3 reports that a farm worker convicted for murdering his employer in the Ochimbingwe area nearly 4 years ago should not be sentenced to more than 20 years imprisonment. His defense lawyer suggested to a judge in Windhoek High Court yesterday. The paper also reports in a separate story that more funding is needed to fulfill the Education Ministry's dream of free Wi-Fi, as more than 700 schools have no internet connection. The ministry presented this information to Parliament yesterday.
Now, New Era zooms in on Swapo Party Secretary General Hopeful Ohayekoa Herunga, who will be going head-to-head with incumbent SG Sophia Shaningwa for the position. According to the paper, when Herunga failed to make National Assembly in 2015, with many in Swapo wrote him off. Still on the paper's page 1, farmers in the Zambezi region reportedly continue to lose their livestock at the hands of increasingly violent cattle rustlers, who the police confirmed are mainly Zambian nationals. The police have said that these perpetrators have now resorted to threatening local farmers in the Zambezi with firearms before driving off with the animals. According to New Era's page 3, the government vehicle that was stolen over the weekend in the vicinity of Ogwediva has been tracked in Angola. According to Oshana police spokesperson Thomas Ayambo, the Toyota GD6 double cab buggy was stolen from a woman at Oshinyadila 2 when the woman allegedly got out of the car to open the gate of her homestead in the village. That was when 2 men emerged from the dark and grabbed the car keys before they drove away. The car belongs to the Ministry of Fisheries, and the woman was given authority to go with the vehicle to her house.
On the economic news matters, the Market Watch reports that the Namibian Competition Commission has conditionally approved the acquisition of Namibia Breweries Investment Holdings and Distil Group Holdings Limited by Heineken International BV. According to NACC spokesperson Dina Kharas, in a media statement, the transaction entails Heineken BV increasing its shareholding in NBL Investment Holding and thereby acquiring control over NBL Investment Holdings, which is the holding company of Namibia Breweries Ltd. The transaction further entails Heineken BV through NBL acquiring Distil Namibia Ltd and subsidiary of the Group Holding Ltd.
Now, after the break, we zoom in on more economic news with Aina. Stay with us.
Flex is your health and fitness show that focuses on the health of the mind, body and spirit. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact zone@synergy.com.na.
In economic news this afternoon, during August 2022, a total 1,051 new vehicles were sold, representing a 55.2% month-on-month increase from the 677 sold in January this year, according to IJ Securities. In August 2021, new vehicle sales stood at 762, representing 37.9% year-on-year increase. New vehicle sales were mainly driven by the passenger and light commercial categories. New vehicle sales for heavy commercial and medium commercial categories stood at 49 and 18 respectively. On a 12-month cumulative basis, new passenger vehicle sales breached from 5,000 mark for the first time since May 2019 and edging towards 2018 levels. Year to date, 6,950 new vehicles have been sold, of which 3,574 were passenger vehicles, 2,907 light commercial vehicles, and 434 medium and heavy commercial vehicles. In comparison, 6,454 new vehicles were sold by August 2021. Toyota retained its lead in the new passenger vehicle sales segment, claiming 29.6% on the sales on year-to-year date basis, followed by Volkswagen with a 23.3% share, was slightly higher than the previous month. The two top brands maintained their large gap over the rest of the market, with Kia and Suzuki following with 9.2% and 8.2% market respectively. In our next story, the suspension of the exportation of live cattle from Namibia to South Africa has been lifted. This follows after South Africa decided last week not to extend the countrywide ban on cattle movement that was introduced a few weeks ago to control the spread of foot and mouth disease in that country. The ban resulted in Namibia's Agriculture Ministry announcing the new measures that restrict the exports of live cattle from Namibia into South Africa until further notice. Following the instruction, Namibia's Chief Veterinary Officer Albertina Shilongo stressed that there are certain conditions that must still be met for all trucks transporting cattle, sheep, goat, and other cloven-hoofed animals from Namibia to South Africa. Shilongo said that all trucks transporting the animals should be registered with the Directorate of Veterinary Services. She said the disinfected trucks should be issued with a cleaning and disinfection certificate, which is valid for one consignment only and must be presented to Namibia's veterinary border official. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators. $1 will now cost 0.1% less in local currency, while the Namibian dollar's value has dropped in relation to the pound and won. MTC stock are now trading for 6.70% less on the NSX, while figures remain the same. SBN holding stock are now trading for a $4.70 after a 6.60% increase. All commodity prices have increased except for Brent crude oil, which dropped by 0.08%. After the break, gunmen in Nigeria killed 5 aides, including security personnel, during an attack on a convoy of a Nigerian senator. We'll take a look at this when we return.
The Agenda is a weekly national affairs interview program hosted every Sunday by Namibian Sun editor Toyvon Jabela, featuring a panel of high-profile newsmakers, analysts, and experts. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact agenda@synergy.com.na. The Agenda, focused on today's conversation.
Let's have a look at news from Africa. Gunmen in Nigeria killed 5 aides, including security personnel, during an attack on a convoy of a Nigerian senator in southeastern Anambra State on Sunday evening, the senator spokesperson said on Monday. Senator Ifeanyi Uba convoy was attacked in Enugu Ukwu, a community in the Jikoka local government area of Anambra, but he escaped without injuries because he was traveling in a bulletproof vehicle. Spokesperson Kame Okpo Ogbonna told Reuters. Ogbonna said he was in the same car with Uba at the same time of the attack, which he described as an assassination attempt. Police said they were investigating the incident and would give an update later. Unknown gunmen have been responsible for a series of attacks on politicians, security forces, and government targets in southeast, where separatists are agitating for secession. In our next story, Uganda has paid $65 million in the first installment of a total of $325 million it was ordered to pay neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo as compensation for losses caused by wars in the 1990s when Ugandan troops occupied the Congolese territory. In a case first brought against Uganda in 1999, Congo asked International Court of Justice to compel Uganda to pay it $11 billion as reparation for the deaths, looting, and general economic damage caused by Uganda's military occupation of parts of Congo in the 1990s. After lengthy proceeding, the ICJ, United Nations highest court, ruled in 2005 that Uganda had violated international law by occupying parts of eastern Congo and supporting other armed groups during a conflict that raged from 1998 to 2003. The court, which deals with dispute between states and whose ruling are final and without appeal, ordered the two parties to negotiate reparations. Now, in 2015, however, Congo told the court the talks have stalled. In our next story, Kenya's newly elected President William Ruto takes the oath of office today as Kenya's fifth president since independence in 1963. Ruto won last month's election, narrowly beating the seasoned politician Raila Odinga in the result that was confirmed by the Supreme Court. About 20 heads of state from across Africa are expected in Nairobi to witness the transition. The outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta, who had backed Odinga, finally congratulated the winner yesterday for the first time. Ruto will have to tackle as a matter of urgency and economy in a dire strait and a deeply polarized country. African leaders have already arrived at Nairobi's Kasarani Stadium for William Ruto's swearing-in ceremony. Kenya is a key strategic partner in East Africa and the larger African continent. Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Eswatini Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini have already arrived. Malawi's President Lazarus Chakwera and Guinea-Bissau Umaro Sisako Embalo have also arrived at the stadium. Now, in our international news slot, we talk about the Emmy Awards. In our international news slot, we will be talking about the Emmy Awards with Ashwin Berry. Stay with us.
Africa Good Morning is a current affairs program that brings you the latest from Southern Africa and beyond. News, economics, sport, weather, interviews, and so much more. For any advertising or news-related queries, contact AGM at synergy.com.na. Africa Good Morning, bringing Africa to you. From Emmy Awards just last year, everyone was watching Squid Game, and it seems like the group itself that made the production come together managed to bag an Emmy Award, as well as Dr. Dre and 50 Cent, as well as Eminem and other artists who managed to also bag an Emmy for their Super Bowl performance. We'll be back right now with more news from the international news scene.
The Noorderlig publication focuses on the central northern regions of Namibia, highlighting the activities that have an impact on locals as well as the role players in economic and social upliftment. The Noorderlig is inserted in the Republican and distributed countrywide. Noorderlig provides the ideal opportunity to communicate with our readers on what your business has to offer, not just for locals but for tourists and locals visiting the central northern area of Namibia. Providing a wonderful opportunity and platform to enhance your brand, contact republicane@synergy.com.na.
So, as I said, big wins at the Emmys for Squid Game and Dr. Dre, and another big win pertinent and important for Africa in particular in the political scene is that William Ruto, Aina just said his inauguration was happening. As of right now, he's officially been inaugurated as the president of Kenya. Now we move over to Europe. Ukrainian forces have seized even more territory from Russia as they continue their counter-offensive. The country's president has said. Volodymyr Zelensky said troops have now retaken more than 6,000 square kilometers from Russian control in September in the east and the south. Russia has admitted losing key cities in the northeastern Kharkiv region in what is seen by some military experts as a potential breakthrough in the war. Moscow describes its troop withdrawal from the region in recent days as a regrouping with the aim of focusing on the Luhansk and Donetsk regions in Ukraine's east. That claim has been ridiculed even in Russia, with many social media users there describing the stated pullout as shameful. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered a full-scale invasion of Ukraine on 24 February. Russia still holds about a fifth of the country. In his latest video address on Monday, President Zelensky said from the beginning of September until today, our warriors have already liberated more than 6,000 square kilometers of the territory of Ukraine. The counter-offensive appears to have been rapid. Last Thursday, President Zelensky said Ukrainian forces had retaken 1,000 square kilometers, but by Sunday, that stated figure had tripled to 3,000 square kilometers. He did not reveal which Ukrainian cities and villages had been liberated. Ukrainian troops posed with flags in a village retaken from Russia control in the northeastern Kharkiv region. Moving on. An activist in Thailand has been jailed for 2 years after a court found she insulted the monarchy by dressing like the Thai queen. Jatupon Nyul Seoyong, who's 25, wore a pink dress at a political demonstration in Bangkok in 2020. She denied the royal insult charge, saying she had just worn a traditional dress. But Thailand has notoriously strict laws which effectively ban criticism of the king and other royals. Since King Maha Vajiralongkorn ascended the throne in 2019, rights groups say authorities have increasingly exercised lèse-majesté laws to quash a protest movement that had demanded reform of the powerful monarchy. Now, since November 2020, at least 210 protesters have been charged with lèse-majesté offenses after a 3-year period where the law wasn't enforced at all, Thai legal groups say. Human rights groups strongly criticized the court's verdict on Monday. Jatupon was sentenced to 3 years but had her term immediately reduced to 2 years. She had attended the protest in 2020 as a performer dressed in a formal pink silk dress where she walked a red carpet accompanied by an attendant who held an umbrella over her head. Now, moving on, beautiful results from Beatrice Masilingi as far as the local sports scene goes. Stay with NMH at 1 after the break.
AgriMonitor is jou weeklikse landboukundige program wat jou die jongste nuus in die landbouverwante bedryf en onderwerpe wat daaraan gekoppel is, bring. Vir enige advertensie of nuusverwante navraag, kontak agrimonitor@synergy.com.na.
Heading into local sport, Namibian cyclist Melissa Hins says her dream is to one day see female cyclists compete toe-to-toe against their male counterparts during club competitions. Hins, who competes for the Food Lovers Market Ladies team, says the current competition in the women's category is not preparing them for what they will experience in professional racing. Namibian track and field star Beatrice Masilingi took top honors as she won the women's 200-meter final in Bellinzona, Switzerland last night. She ran a time of 22.51 seconds. Congratulations, Beatrice. Namibian professional footballer Rael Nyambe has been described as fantastic by the club's former manager Tony Mowbray and current manager John Dow Thomason. Nyambe left Blackburn, which he made 201 appearances for a few months ago, to join Wigan Athletic. Thomason admitted that he tried his level best to persuade Nyambe to stay put, but the defender had other aspirations. Stay with us as we head shortly into international sport. Trailblazing Namibian international footballer Peter Shalulile is leading the scorecard in the DStv Premiership once again, having already scored 6 goals and thus justifying his higher earnings at his club. The Namibian was given an improved contract just months, with intense interest shown from Belgium and Saudi Arabia. Borussia Dortmund know only too well of Erling Haaland's ability to destroy defenses in the Champions League, but the German giants may die by the sword they previously lived by when they visit Manchester City tomorrow. And Lewis Hamilton said that the safety car finish at Sunday's Italian Grand Prix revived painful memories of the way he lost last season's Formula One championship. It was Verstappen who snatched last year's title in Abu Dhabi when the race was restarted with 1 lap remaining, and the Red Bull driver overtook Hamilton in a controversial climax. Now, if you're just joining us, we bring you up to speed with the highlights from this afternoon's broadcast right after this break.
In Business 7, you get news on current economic, financial, and business matters in Namibia. The weekly show features interviews with experts and in-depth analysis of burning issues in a way that caters for ordinary Namibians and business connoisseurs alike. For news-related or advertising queries, please contact B7 at synergy.com.na.
Flex is your health and fitness show that focuses on the health of the mind, body, and spirit. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact zone@synergy.com.na.
Thank you very much for spending your lunch hour with us this afternoon. Now let's get into our highlights. Kenya's newly elected President William Ruto took the oath of office today as Kenya's 5th president since independence in 1963. Ukrainian forces have seized more territory from Russia as they continue their counter-offensive, the country's president has said. Volodymyr Zelensky said troops have now taken more than 6,000 square kilometers from Russia's control in September in east and the south. Namibian cyclist Melissa Hens says her dream is to one day see female cyclists compete toe-to-toe against their male counterparts during club competitions.
Those have been your highlights. Thank you for staying with NMH at 1 and spending your lunch hour with us. Remember to tune in every weekday at 1 p.m. as we take you through the latest happenings in Namibia and beyond. That's it from us in studio, but don't go anywhere because up next is news from Namibia's Oshodonjupa region with Desiree Kharas in this edition of Regional Review.
Second, in my news segment, I did visit Transnamib Ochiwarango, where I went to go meet Vasco, which is the spokesperson and one of the people who are spearheading the strike here in Ochiwarango. If you are not aware, I think a large portion of the Transnamib employees have decided to go on a strike due to a salary increase, or a demand in a salary increase rather. And as I visited the employees here in Ochiwarango, they also did enlighten me about the fact that they do have concerns about about the fact that Otjiwarongo Transnamib plans on selling houses that Transnamib employees are currently still staying in, allegedly. And they also did take me to show me how Transnamib Otjiwarongo has been breaching the rules of the strike by using employees who have not decided to go on the strike to do the jobs of the striking employees. So there will be a clip inserted where you will see this, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, we are here as employees of Transnamib. We are not happy with our companies, our leaders. Our leaders are not treating us well. As we have heard also as a media, you heard about our stories. We are almost 5 years without an increasement. So that is the main aim that we are here as workers. We are here together, so we need our demand to be answered.
When did you guys decide to go on a strike?
We started on the last week on Wednesday. It's where we started our strike.
Okay. Why did you guys decide to go on a strike?
Ma'am, the life is changing. That's the main aim. The life is changing. As we have heard also, our repo rate is going up. Prices is going up on the shop. When you go in the shop, they are not going to tell you that you are Transnamib, you have your own shelf. The price is just the same. Either you are working or not working, the price is going up. So that's why we decided also, our management is crying. We are really crying. That's why we stop working.
How long do you guys intend on being on a strike?
We are going to stand until our head of department or the management answers our demand. Our demand is simple. We need increasement. That's what we need.
Okay.
Currently now.
How did your company react to the fact that you guys have decided to go on a strike?
Ma'am, the company, they are now threatening us. They are sending mails, threatening that we are not doing things. But what we are doing now, they were signed. The rules were signed. Management in Natal. So they signed the rules. Now they find that the rules, they are not working. Now they are threatening us again.
What are they threatening you guys with?
They are threatening that we are don't want to work, or we are letting other people want to work, or we are threatening the other workers that they must not work. But no one is threatening anybody currently now.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, in our news segment, we did have some youth news where the classic clashes in netball took place, where Otjiwarongo Secondary School and Etosha Secondary School went against each other. I think personally it was a quite competitive match, and I think it has also been a while since some of the girls have been out playing netball so actively post-COVID.
The goal shooter, Michelle Creer. The goal attack, Kaideen van Wyk. The center, Irene Guchar. The wing defense, Romancia Willemse. The goal defense, Abigail Low. The goalkeeper, Turimuye Kachioku. The reserve, Anaki Munyangalala. Sorry for pronunciation, because I'm the Afrikaans teacher. Girls, so julle het my klaar vergewe, nee? Want julle gaan vir my wys julle kan ordentlike netbal speel. The other reserve, Marioline Shilongo. Nog 'n reserve, Dapewa Shanika. Girls, julle lyk pragtig. Dankie.
Bookings for Namibia Tourism Expo 2022 are open. The Expo will take place from 3 to 5 November 2022 in Windhoek. To secure your booking, visit nte.nmh.com.na. And for more information on the Expo, follow all Namibia Media Holdings platforms. The Expo is supported by the Ministry of Environment, Tourism and Forestry, Namibia Tourism Board, FENATA, City of Windhoek, and Namibia Media Holdings. Namibia Tourism Expo, taking tourism to the regions.
Well, moving on to our interview segment. In this interview segment, we did have an interview with Salima, who is one of the members of the Oshi FM and one of the people who helped organize this event. I think she will definitely be diving a lot into, what their fears were, hosting something like this for the first time ever, and the impact that they hope to have on the community and in Africa as a whole with hosting an event like this on an annual basis. So stay tuned for that.
Good morning, my name is Salimi Gerard and I am the radio station manager for Ochi FM radio station here in Chivarongo. I was part of the events coordinator with Mr. Edwin Samule for the Ochi FM Champs Awards 2022 that happened this past weekend on the 20th of August 2022.
Okay, tell us a bit about what was the Champs Award. What is it? What was happening there? Why were people getting awards?
Okay, the Champs Awards was a platform to recognize different business sectors, vendors, taxi drivers, because we just had a hectic COVID-19 situation that happened in 2020, and a lot of businesses went down. People lost hope, especially those who are self-employed. So we used this platform, to bring back hope by recognizing those who need to be recognized, those who are really bringing change in our society, those who don't always get the opportunity. For example, taxi drivers. It's the first time that you hear of awards recognizing taxi drivers. So we use this platform, to recognize those who need to be recognized, the trendsetters, the pioneers that are making a change in all sectors, like in every different sector, business sector in the Namibian industry, This is why we even named the awards Yours, Our Recognition. Yes, because we were recognizing them from the Ochi FM perspective.
Okay, tell me a bit about how the event played out now that it's all over.
To be honest, I'm really proud of myself and my team, especially Mr. Edwin Samule. I'm proud of Mr. Terry Uyamba, all the board members, the presenters, because we worked as a team. This event really united us, It was hectic in the beginning, but the event played out quite well, Well, the night was cold, I must admit, but everything went well. The performances were outstanding. Everybody delivered, Those who got their awards were so excited and happy. Everybody went home, with a smile. And from our side, we were also happy that the event was a success. Our hard work really paid off on Saturday.
Okay, seeing that you guys hosted something that has never been seen before in Otjiwarongo, what would you say are some of the challenges that you guys faced in organizing this event?
Organizing the event, getting the sponsors on board, because there were so many questions involved. Some of the sponsors were like, are you guys sure this is going to work out well? Some people didn't understand what we are trying to do, and we are telling them, no, we are going to be hosting the Ochi FM Champs Awards. Some people had so many questions, like, where is it going to be? What is it all about? And we are telling them, no, it's awards that are specifically, it's an initiative created for the Otjozondjupa region, Otjozondjupa region, because Ochi FM is based in Otjiwarongo. And it was people, we were running around, we had fear a bit, whether everything is gonna work out well. And but at the end of the day, everything worked out for good, hey? And that is all that matters.
Okay, what would you say were some of the highlights of the event?
Some of the highlights, to be honest, especially when Edwin Samule approached some of the sponsors, they were very excited because this is the first event of its kind, you know. Nothing like this was ever hosted before, and they felt it's good for the region's economy, you know. This is going to boost the economy of Ochazonjupa region. I mean, it's also going to put the Ochazonjupa region on the map out there, you know, nationally, internationally, because we live stream. Our viewers are from all over the world, and most of the sponsors especially, they responded quite well when we approached them for sponsorship because they were excited. Nothing like this was ever done. Even the young ones, the youth, you know, they were so excited. People were even like planning. They were like, no, we are going to organize our outfits, because it's been a while that we actually had an event like this where we kind of like dress up and look nice. So everything was quite well, to be honest. That was one of the highlights, because everybody had like a positive view on this awards, like, yo, I can't wait to dress up, I can't wait to look nice, because it's been a while that we had something like this in Ochazonjupa region.
Okay, what effect do you guys hope this has on the community and in Africa as a whole?
To be honest, we are planning to make this a yearly event, and we hope that this is going to bring some positive impact, positive change, you know. It's going to bring a different perspective, especially to those people who are not always recognized, like the vendors, those who are self-employed, you know. We want them to start knowing that their hard work out there is recognized, and we appreciate their effort.
You know, a few weeks ago, I would never do this on a Saturday morning. Back then, I was standing in line all day. Now it's just like that.
You are using the FNB banking app like I told you.
Girl, it saved my weekend. Now I can do all my banking on this.
Payments, transfers, checking statements.
Even opening accounts.
Just like that.
Oh, did I tell you what my husband did?
Even me, I want to save time with the, what's the name of the app?
FNB app.
Don't be left behind. Make the switch to the FNB app, online banking or cell phone banking, and change the way you bank to change your life. FNB, how can we help you?
And again, in our interview segment, I did have a chat with Hidi Didich, who is the president of the German Carnival, which name I cannot pronounce right now, but Hidi will definitely go into detail about the carnival. The carnival is about to take place. Actually, it's going to be taking place in a few days' time. It is a carnival that came about due to German immigrants who moved to Otjiwarongo and still wanted to keep their culture alive. So Hidi will definitely dive into that, so stay tuned for Hidi's interview.
Ochi, hello. My name is Heike Dedich and I'm the president of the Otjiwarongo Karnevalsgesellschaft. The Karnevalsgesellschaft is an organization that was started in 1954 by people that emigrated from Germany to Otjiwarongo, and they decided they wanted to keep some German culture going. So we are very proud to say this year we are celebrating our 66th year of Carnival. After Windhoek, which you all probably know as Vika, we are 2 years younger than they are, which for Otjiwarongo people is quite an accomplishment. Besides Otjiwarongo and Vika in Windhoek, we also get the Kuska at Swapo, you get Luka in Luderitz, and then we used to have a carnival in Walfish Bay, which was called Waka, and we had one in Tsumeb called Tsumka. We are also very excited to say that there used to be carnival in Stellenbosch and Pretoria. This was mainly due to our kids going to study and wanting to continue this cultural tradition of ours.
Okay, tell us a bit about what the theme for this year's carnival is going to be.
So the theme, every year each carnival has their own theme. So you usually pick up something that is in your town and you make a topic out of it. Our topic this year is masks that are dropping and we are allowed to celebrate. So in Afrikaans you would say maskers val, proppe knal.